Follow along with me on your phone if you're able to. First, come over here to settings. And when you're here, go down to screen time and just go over, let's just do last week for me. That is your average screen time. Now, let's do something with this number. So let's say I average 5 hours of screen time a week. Okay, 5 hours a week times 7 days a week. So 35 hours a week. Then you multiply that by the weeks in a year. So that is 1,820 hours a year. Okay, and let's do some thought experiment here. Let's say I keep up this pace of screen time for my whole rest of my life. And let's say I get lucky and I get 70 years. Okay, so that's how many total hours I will have on my phone for the rest of my life. Right there. 127,400 hours. Okay, now let's put it into days by dividing it by 24. So that'll be around 5,308 days. Okay, that's kind of crazy, but let's even make it more noticeable and divide by 365. This video is not clickbait. If I keep up my screen time for the rest of my life, I'll be spending 14 and a half years of my remaining 70 years on my phone. Now, let me ask you this. Do you really want to spend all this time on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram? 14 and a half years? Or do you think, like I do, that you might be able to spend this time a little bit better? I mean, we spend less time with our friends, our sports, our family, our school, and even sleeping than we do on screens. And you know what? Your time is almost certainly worse than mine. My 5 hours is way below the Gen Z average of 8 hours a day. And so today, I don't want you to feel super bad about yourself. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not too much. Because the main point of this video is going to be looking at how me and you can get some of these years back. And you know, I've already made a video on like the easy basics. You know, the turn off your notifications, go on do not disturb, turn off raised awake. All these good tips and tricks that yes are going to lower our screen times, but it's not going to address the root cause of this problem. So instead in today's video, I'm going to be quite blunt. You need to delete those apps. Okay, you guys are not gonna like to hear this, but it's important that you listen because it's the truth. Whether or not you actually want to hear it, it's important. Is TikTok valuable? And do you use TikTok well? No. The answer is no, you don't do it. For 99.9% of people, we do not use TikTok well and mostly just use it as a time waster. I mean, there are going to be some people that are trying to make a business out of TikTok and maybe they can get a pass. But for most of us, we just use it as a time waster. Or the other big reason is to get some sort of feeling or some sort of connection out of these apps. For example, you might be on TikTok, whether consciously or subconsciously, trying to get someone to connect with over your loneliness. Someone that's there to tell you that you're not the only one that's lonely. You're not the only one that's struggling. You're not the only lonely college student. But you can get these in much healthier ways from other parts of your life. Let me share with you a personal connection I have with this. So I used to be a really big addict on Instagram. Did I use my time on Instagram well and was it valuable? Absolutely not. But whenever some YouTubers online called me out for this, I would always argue with them with this same playbook. Hey YouTuber, how the heck am I supposed to stay in contact with my friends? How am I supposed to know what's going on without Instagram? I gotta have those stories, yo. Homie, I wasn't missing out on nothing. All the stories that were there on Instagram were just a bunch of girls that I followed a while back just so I would get extra followers. I wasn't even into them, and they'd just be the type of ones that would post 20 stories a day. And I'd spam through each one of them, barely acknowledging that any of them existed, and then find myself back on the Explore page or Reels afterwards. And you know, once in a while there would be like a party that was posted, and if I didn't have Instagram, I wouldn't hear about it. But guess what? I was never invited. And if I was invited, I wouldn't want to go. Even the stuff I would have been missing out on if I didn't have Instagram weren't that important to me. And for you guys, I would question whether or not the things that you'd be missing out are that important to you either. Perhaps you're just more attached to like the follower count or something else, because you really don't miss out that much by not having these apps like Instagram and Snapchat. And I'd argue from the countless hours you're gonna be wasting on these apps, you're missing out on more by having them than if you didn't have them. But just one second, I gotta keep it 100 with y'all. The big reason I was on Instagram is because I was trying to look at baddies. But just like I'm feeling this embarrassment saying it out loud, I felt embarrassment telling that to myself. And so I'd be making up this BS reasoning, like I need to stay in contact with my friends to mask the real reason. Because I felt it was wrong. Instagram just gave me this awesome sense of plausible deniability for my own brain to take advantage of. Now, in retrospect, there's two ways I could have handled this better. I could have realized what I was doing was wrong and just stop using Instagram. Or, I could realize, hey, this is kind of weird. Why don't I actually go talk to some baddies? I don't know, maybe that'd be helpful. Now, I was never gonna do number two, never ever. But at least I could not be a weird basement dweller. Now, I'm not telling you this story because I think you use Instagram and TikTok because you're some horny basement dweller. Instead, it's just my own personal connection of how I use these apps and got a whole lot of screen time for unhealthy and bad reasons. Instead, I'm saying to just reflect upon yourself and look at how you're using social media in these unhealthy and bad reasons. Because I truly don't think it's possible that any of us aren't using social media in unhealthy ways. It could be an intense FOMO. It could be you using these apps as an escape from a difficult family situation. It could be major procrastination. It could be laziness. I know I don't like how I've used social media in the past and how I'd like some of that time back, in retrospect. And I think you would too. So take a look at the unhealthy reason or reasons that you use these apps and maybe how you can healthily include these in your life. If you're looking for a feeling of connection, try to reach out to some friends or family. And if that's not possible, go into a public space, feel a little uncomfortable, and try talking to people. You may feel weird, but it's better than just feeling lonely on TikTok. If these apps is an escape for you, I feel for you. It's tough being in a difficult environment. But I don't think using these apps is the right choice. But guess what? There is something that can be just as good of an escape, but so much healthier. And that's instead of indulging yourself with your phone or alcohol or drugs like so many people in bad situations, be like the people who have grown up in bad situations and poured everything they have into a hobby or a business, a religion. People who give everything they can to something are the ones that create great things. And so you can either give everything over to your phone and become the greatest video watcher of all time, or give everything you have over to alcohol and be the greatest drinker of all time. Or you can give everything you have over to YouTube and be the best YouTuber you can. Or you can give everything you can into being an engineer and being the best engineer you can. And if you have a lot of screen time because you're procrastinating, master procrastinator, or you're just being lazy, stop it. Get some help. What do I have to say? These recent changes I've made to my YouTube videos, ooh, I zoomed in a lot, okay, have really made me like YouTube so much more, like how I liked YouTube a year ago. So make sure you go down below and hit the subscribe button, because new videos are gonna be flowing to your inbox, but not in an annoying way. Don't worry, you won't get a notification for shorts. But there's a video you can watch right now on how music is actually bad for you. I know that got some of your attention, so click right over here, where you will hear my reasoning for why I don't listen to music in the gym, and why you shouldn't either. Now, don't forget to delete the Instagrams, reconnect with people, and think better. I'll catch you over in this video right here.